Hey everybody on the Freaks, Smiles, and Monsters page and on the World Wide Web and in the group for Suzanne. It's your friend Carson coming at you. Also on YouTube. Let's not forget about YouTube there. Thanks everybody for joining in today. Today I have a video with a purpose, and most of my videos I think tend to have some kind of a meaning behind them. At least I try to make that so. Today I thought I would do a video for my friend Suzanne, and Suzanne is has been recently diagnosed with cancer, and she is fighting right now. And so today, I just thought we'd make her a marble, and it's going to have a Monsterz buddy, and it's going to have a Buddha face as well. So I think it's going to be a great companion for her. Hopefully it'll be a great companion for her. I'm sure she'll enjoy it. And, Suze, I'm sure you'll get to see this video. I just want to say that I love you, girl, and we're all rooting for you. And, we're sending all the positivity, healing energy to your way as we possibly can. And I'm sure a lot of people that see this won't know my friend Suze personally, but, say a prayer, send some positive thoughts her way. Hey, Suze, there you are. So anyways, I'm also rocking my my head scarf, and this is because this is in solidarity. And the other thing that I say about this headscarf, that this isn't really a headscarf, y'all. This is it's like a dish towel, but it's the only thing I really had. And but what's really cool about it is my stepmom actually made it, and she's a weaver, so she actually made the cloth and everything. So anyways, going throughout this video, I'll do my best to answer any questions that people might have. Again, this is a demonstration video, so I'll do my best to explain step by step what I'm doing as we go along. I did do some prep work. I've got several punties prepped up. I have got some color rod prepped up. I've got some silver on the rod here. I've got the blank that will become the part, my part of the collaboration on this marble. So it's a double-sided marble. So Chad, about a year ago, gave me a monster that is, basically halfway done, and he said, Carson, I want to do a collaboration. Here you go, man. And this guy's been sitting around for a long while, like almost a year, and I kept thinking of different ideas and different things that I might do with it. And I woke up at about 7 this morning, and just kind of out of a dead sleep, and I thought, you know what, this marble's going to Suze, and we're gonna make it a collab. I messaged Chad. I said, here's the deal, and he's like, absolutely, let's do it. So I just feel very honored to be a part of the collaboration, and also honored to be able to do something nice for a friend. And yeah, it's just cool. So anyways, so I've got this piece of prep prepped up. If you're not familiar with the way I blow glass, or the way Chad blows glass, we use what's called a bench burner torch. Behind me you can see the kiln. Right here I've got a roller tool that's going to allow me to not mess my wrist up. I've also got this graphite marble mold, which I'll be using. This video might turn out to be a little bit long, so if you need to tune out and tune back in, by all means. The other thing is that this video will also be archived on my YouTube channel. I put a link in the description of this video, so it'll be around for a good long time. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and the other thing that I was going to show you guys is the Buddha. So that's the Buddha. So I'll get us started with with Buddha here, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. So, if anybody has any questions, you feel free to drop a question and ask. Let's see, make sure I'm not going to burn my phone up here. All right. Make sure everybody's in the camera shot. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that looks about good. So, anyways, yeah, I like my. I do a cool hat for all my videos, and I thought, you know what? I need to put on a headband, and it's like, what am I going to use? I don't have any. I don't have any actual headbands. And I said, I know I'm going to use this thing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making a gather. It's what we refer to as a gather. When you take this piece of rod, and I'm going to kind of sink it back in on itself and make a kind of a bulbous shape on the end of this rod. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I put a topic for discussion in the videos, and one of the things I've tried to do is do topics of discussion in each of these videos. I figured, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are blowing glass and you know, making videos with kind of no explanation, or, you know, blowing glass is awesome and it's interesting to watch, I think. But, you know, maybe we can do a little bit more. So the topic for discussion today is facing adversity, and it's that's a pretty broad topic. But I had some thoughts on, you know, thoughts and some experience on facing adversity. And I think the longer we stay alive, the more adversity we get to face. Unfortunately, that's just kind of a fact of life. So that's where we're at. And, you know, I'm probably going to sound pretty hokey in saying some of the things that I'm going to say, but there's certain sayings that help me along when I'm going through some trials and tribulations. All right, y'all ready? Okay. So Buddha's in there. Come on, Buddha. Don't get too off center with me. Alright, so there's Buddha. I just made that imprint in the glass here. And now I'm going to put some silver fume on the back of this thing. And the silver fume will really help Buddha stand out. You know what? I'm not quite happy with this. That I'm going to go ahead and remelt this and try again. So anyways, this idea of, like I was saying, facing adversities and some sayings that have always really helped me. One of the big ones for me has been that saying of, you know, how do you eat an elephant? And, you know, kind of this idea that sometimes when I'm looking at a problem, it's huge. It's so overwhelming, and I'll sit back and think, how am I ever going to deal with this? And so the question of how do I eat an elephant, the answer to that question is one bite at a time. And that little saying has really helped me along my way in dealing with things in my life, you know, things that come up that are unexpected, real trials and tribulations and stuff like that, you know. And I've been in places in my mind and where I've had some real struggles, you know. Back in 2007, I had to be hospitalized for some mental health stuff, and it's a really tough time in my life. And going through that, I had never really gone through that before that point in time. And going through that, I realized that I had to draw my strength from something. And, what ended up happening was I found this inner strength through that experience. And I also found the power of asking for help. And in asking for help, I really, really was able to come through that. And it's always been one of the, let's see, let me just think about this here. All right, I'm more happy with that. So anyways, Chad, thanks, man. I'm glad this is like, this to me, like, it's right here. You know what I mean? So there's Buddha. Buddha's in there now. And so yeah, so, in going through that experience, I had to ask for help. I asked for a lot of help. I remember before I wound up in the actual hospital, I went to a crisis center, like the ER, and there was a woman in there, the nurse that came and saw me, that ultimately hooked me up with the hospital I wound up going to. She said something to me that night. She said, I want you to get to this place, and I want you to get to this place, and you're going to have to find your way there. And she said, don't be one of those guys that doesn't ask for directions. And I thought, oh my God, that was probably one of the most profound things somebody's ever said to me. Don't be one of those guys that doesn't stop and ask for directions. And I'll tell you what, guys, even still in my life today, I have to stop and ask for directions. I absolutely, all the time, 100% have to stop and ask for directions. And so especially if I'm struggling with something, it's so important for me. And so that's one of the ways that I've been able to at least attempt to go through some adversities in my life. So there's Buddha on the backside with some fume on him. So stopping and asking for directions, leaning on my friends and my family, using those resources. And, I think for a lot of people, I can speak for myself, it's one of the hardest things, one of the most challenging things for me to do is to ask somebody for help. I just don't, there's something about me that says, oh, well, if you ask for help, there's something wrong with you, or you somehow are failing, and I found that to be actually the exact opposite of what's really going on. That when I stop and ask for help, when I stop and ask for those directions, what really happens is the circle is completed. Because when I'm strong, and when I have the wherewithal, I'm the person that can maybe offer somebody some help. And when I need it, then it's my job, it's my duty to stop and ask for that help. So anyways, that's a huge one for me. So I try to school myself to remember that it doesn't matter how silly I feel or what I think about, or maybe I'm going to be, feel some kind of weird or embarrassed about it. I stop and ask for help. And as I've practiced that throughout the time that, I've been aware of it, it's amazing to me. It gets easier, and, and it's amazing to me how much love grows from that, So, and I have a friend that says, thank God we're not all sick or on the same day, and that's been really true for me too. Some days I'm the one that that needs the help. Some days, and I'm the one that can give the help. You know, so that's huge. That's really huge for me. What I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm gathering this piece of cobalt up, and this piece of cobalt will ultimately become the backing for the side of the Buddha side of the marble. So I made that indention in the Buddha side of the marble, and I put some fume on it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this gather once I get it nice and gathered up, and I'll smush it on there. And once I smush it on there, what it's going to do is going to trap a little layer of air in between this cobalt and the clear. And it kind of makes this type of marble inherently a little unstable. The marble itself will be stable once it's annealed and cooled. But once I put this backing on, I'm not going to be able to really stop, take a break. So, anyways, yeah. So stopping and asking for directions. I think blowing glass is such a great analogy to life in some ways, and I'm sure others can attest to this and maybe have experienced this, that, you know, what I do as a glass blower, it's not always the easiest, it's not always the most straightforward, and there's tons of adversity that come along with being a glass blower. And I'll tell you what, man, one of them things about stopping and asking for help, you know, that's huge. My buddy said most marble makers are unstable, myself included. That's a good one. Well, you know, sometimes marble makers are unstable, and sometimes the marbles are a little unstable too. You know what I mean? Well, actually, they're kind of inherently unstable since they're spheres, right? So, anyways, what I'm doing right now is I'm warming up this Buddha to receive the backing here, and I got to get this backing like wicked screaming hot, and the Buddha needs to be just warm, and I want to preserve all those indentations and everything that are already in there, so I'm not blasting the inside of this Buddha with the heat. Anyways, ready? I think we're about ready. 1, 2, 3. Smush. Smush, smush. Okay. Alright, coming right along, guys. So, yeah, anyways, Chad's piece of this marble has been done. You know, I'm just now getting to my part of this, so. Anyways. Hey, Vern, how you doing? I'm so excited, guys. You know, this is kind of a little aside from this video, but I have a lot of friends that are kind of tuned in right now that are going to be going to this event called AGI that I've gone to. This will be my 4th year in a row going to this particular event, and you know, it's like we have our glass family reunion. It's so much fun. So each time I get to go, I just get more and more excited about it, you know. Anyway, so it's getting toasty in here. Suze, you know I love you, girl, because, you know, I don't usually make big things in the summertime. It's hot. I mean, it's 8 o'clock and it's still hot here in Atlanta. So anyways, yeah, what I might do here is I might just pick this guy, start to get him into a little bit of round here. Yeah, can't wait to see you either. Looks like Italy was a blast. I have a lot of friends that went to the gas conference in Italy, and man, I was kind of Facebook stalking and observing all those pictures and everything else. It looked like it was a lot of fun. Alright. I've got a little wrinkle here. Looks like at the top of old dude's forehead. So I've been trying to kind of get him to the place where there's no wrinkles. Trying to figure out a way to keep everything in shot, and I don't know that you guys will be able to see. Maybe I can move this camera just a touch, so you might be able to get the marble mold in shot here. I'm going to add just a little bit of glass because I just have a little bit, not quite as much glass as I need in this one particular spot. Just kind of want to close that guy up. Make sure he's ready to meet his better half. Yeah, so we got all our monsters and freaks and smiles going on. I love this group. I love seeing all the different proud owners of the monsters doing interesting things and fun things and bringing their monsters guys along with them. I think that's just so much fun. You know, it's a real treat to see all of that, and it's a real treat to be asked to do a collaboration with when Chad asked me to do it. You know, I just think it's the greatest. Honestly, I do. And it's going to a great home too. So I'm really, really happy about that. Let's see here. All right. So now we're almost to the point where we can join these two guys together. Now this monster has been sitting in the kiln. I warmed him up nice and slow, so hopefully we shouldn't have any thermal shock issues when I put him into the fire here. We'll just see, you know. Oh yes, the color changing lights. Yeah, oh yeah. You know me. I have to keep the disco going. You know, the funk never stops here in Cap Glass World. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm fairly happy with the shape on him. I don't want to spend too much time because I need to melt this guy together and create one cohesive marble. So this is kind of like a freeform. Same with the other side. Oh yeah. You guys can see Mr. Monster in there. That's the back side of Mr. Monster. So Suze, you're gonna have to come up with a name for your monster. You know, that's one of the things with owning a monster. You gotta come up with a name for it. So let's see here. Now, I don't want to trap any air in between these two guys. And I also want to kind of see if I can't get faces coordinated here. Alright, let's see where I'm at. 1, 2, 3. Smush. Alright. Now they're smushed. And while I have it on two handles, I might as well go on ahead and really try to melt these guys together. This will be the second collaboration that I've gotten to do with Chad. The first one found a happy home, and I was really glad to hear about that, and I appreciate Chad for doing the work to find him a happy home. So hopefully we know which home this one's going to. So anyways, let's go ahead and get we're liberating Mr. Monsterz. Now, Chad's Monsterz are what's called compression marbles. And if you've never gotten to see Chad do his Monsterz marbles, it's a real treat too. He's a great teacher, and he can really kind of give everybody some good pointers on how to make these guys, you know, and how to make similar marbles to this one. So. Be a pretty big marble here. Looks like it'll probably be in the range of, I don't know, 1.5 inches maybe? Yeah, about 1.5 to 2 inches. So it's going to take a little while to put together. You guys can see that. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to change sides and come at this guy from a different side. First, I'm going to go ahead and dome out the Monsterz side and make sure this guy is more or less round and kind of where we want it. I'm really trying my best not to distort this monster too much, but I have to get the whole thing fairly hot so I can move the glass around enough to really warm it in and actually shake this sucker. So. Oh that went. I'll tell you guys, one of the other reasons it took me almost a year to make this sucker is because I'm a little bit nervous. You know, right now I'm a little bit nervous. And there again, it kind of comes back full circle into our discussion about, you know, asking for help. You know, this idea of, you know, drawing strength from asking for help. And, you know, the other thing is, it's okay, I have found for me to be nervous about something, to not quite know what's going on, and to vocalize that. That's perfectly okay. And I give myself 100% permission to be scared, to be nervous, to express that. You know, I think it takes a whole lot of courage to admit when you're scared, to admit when you're nervous. My buddy said I need a mic close marble mode. Those things are really nice. I'll give you that, man. They really are nice. I actually really like this marble mold that I have right now. It's okay for your initial shaping. It's really a great finishing marble mold. It has the you know, the very distinct edge on it, which is, you know, from what I understand, and now I'm not a super marble maker or anything, but from what I understand about marble molds is that would be considered more of a finishing mold. But I have had pretty good success in using this thing, so I've been really pretty happy with it. My friend Sean actually got me this mold. We exchanged Christmas gifts a couple years ago, and he got me this mold, which was really nice. It's been a really cool thing. Alright, so now the trick is to keep this guy hot. I gotta keep him hot so he won't crack. Well, I don't have to keep the whole thing super soupy. I do need to keep it warm enough. There's a lot going on in this particular marble. So yeah. So yeah, also this topic kind of reminds me of this idea that, you know, when I was a lot younger, I used to think I knew a lot. And as I've gotten a little older, what I realize is I don't know anything. And I really, honestly, I like to say I'm in uncharted territory. I've never lived this long before, so I don't really know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Which is kind of interesting, you know, it's kind of an interesting way to look at life, maybe. It's like, you know, what it does anyways is it frees me up. It gives me permission to make mistakes. To say, you know what, maybe I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation, and kind of coming back to that whole thing about, you know, asking for help, asking for guidance, etc., etc. So here we go. Kind of looking still like two individual things. We're getting there though, guys. We are getting there. What can I say about my friend Suze? Suze is a healer. She's an awesome woman, man. We had so much fun. We camped out together at this festival we went to. We just had such a blast. Such a great time talking, and I can't wait till next year. Can't wait for you to beat this damn thing, man. And we're just gonna have so much fun going forward. And I just feel so honored to be a part of your life, Suze. I really do. All right. We're getting there. Just got to work on the seam a little bit. Another thing that maybe a little tip or a trick for if somebody is watching this and it's kind of new to making marbles, one of the things I really like to do is use a tube as a punchy. I feel like it's a very stable punchy handle, you know. I'm getting to see the monster going, it's just so much fun, man. It's just such a great thing. It's like, oh man. You know, before I ever met Chad, I knew of his work. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, you gotta be kind of a cool guy to sit there and make smiley faces in glass all day long. You know, I thought to myself, you know, I need to meet this guy. He's just, you know, these things are just way too much fun, you know, and they are. They're so much fun. When you look at the monster, and he's just going, ah! You know, to me, it's just there's something joyful about that. And like I said, this morning at about 7 in the a.m., I woke up out of a dead sleep, and I thought, you know what? Suze needs a Monsterz collab for her companion when she's having to go through doing this stuff, you know, all the chemo stuff and everything else. So, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be kind of a long video, guys. I know it's trying to maybe not talk too much, but also not just be boring and have you guys sit here watching me going back and forth. But you know, that's what marble making is really. It can be a lot of that, I think. And you know, like I said, I'm not the most renowned marble maker, but I've made a few. There we go. Let's make it one piece of glass, y'all. One piece of glass. You know, I do a lot of hollow work myself. That's mostly what I do is hollow work. And one of my friends and teachers, actually the guy that got me this mold, his name's Sean, he showed me how to make a seal. And it hadn't clicked up to that point, but when he said make it one piece of glass, I was like, ding, ding. The light went right off. Oh, there it is, y'all, there it is. Come on, Buddha. Buddha, you getting married to the monster. I don't know if you were up to that, Buddha, but that's what's happening right now. Alright. I think I might have to switch punnies, guys. There's definitely a couple wrinkles in here that are still present. Anyways, when I was over at Chad's house last year in the summer, he said something that really also put a light bulb off in my head as it pertained to making marbles. And what he said was that the sphere under the top layer of glass is already round. And I was like, wait a second, you mean I don't have to completely heat this whole thing way up before it, to make it round? That to me also just kind of was a light bulb moment. So I thought that was a good teaching tip from Chad. Scariest part of making a marble right there, folks. Alright. Let's see. I need a roller to save my elbow. Man, let me tell you, the rollers are not cheap for what for what they are, especially. They're so not cheap, but God, are they ever worth the money that they charge for these things. Somebody says, the smiles are some of my favorite marbles. Surprise was handed to me on my birthday, it meant the world to me. And Chad smiley face. Yeah, man, I know, they are just the coolest things. They are really just the coolest things. Yeah, I really appreciate the whole Monsterz and what Chad has been able to do for people, and I appreciate his friendship and what he's done for me. And I also look forward to many years of friendship with Chad, and all my glass friends and all my other friends, honestly. All right, we're getting somewhere, y'all. I might have to do another punny switch, though, I'll tell you. Rollers. Chad says he loves rollers. Who doesn't like a good set of rollers, you know? That's got it. There was just a little valley there, right in where the two were joined, and it just was not coming together until I just hit it with that pinpoint flame, and it just kind of, whoop, I just watched it come right together. So can't wait to see it either, man. I think that kind of was the reaction to me. I so look forward to coming up there, seeing everybody in Pittsburgh, and seeing all the friends from around the country and really around the world. So much fun. So now what I'm doing is I have this bar of light here, this fluorescent light, and I'm looking for the reflection. I'm trying to see if there's any wrinkles in the glass. I see one wrinkle right now. So I'm going to go back in, do a little more flame polishing. I'm going to come back. It'll be my next punty will probably be my final punty. It'll be my lightest punty. And I'll be able to show everybody how this guy turned out. You guys can see that Monsterz right there. Yeah. Alright, a little more flame polish. Now this final punny is, I believe it's referred to as a crown punny, and it's got a little indentation right in the middle. And what that does is it allows the punny to not have so much surface area. So when I do this, I'm going to have to do it fairly quickly. Buddha got a little ghostly. He got just a little distorted, but still think you kind of get the idea. He almost looks like a little tiki man at this point. So, oh, hey, and that crown punny was cold. So what do you know? It busted off. And just like life, glass is the same way. Nothing ever goes quite according to plan. You know, it always there's always something. But just when you think that you got it all figured out, something kind of might come out of left field. But there again, there's the good news in that is that you know, we don't have to do this thing called life alone. You know, we get to do it with friends and family, and that makes it all the better. At least in my experience, it does. So, all right. So there's that crown punny made up again. All right, now I have to move quick. Once I tack this sucker on. Tack it, shock it, bam! Almost there, guys. There's the Monsterz, and there's the Buddha. And you can't really see Buddha right now. It's pretty hot. Actually, Buddha's kind of this way. So what I have to do now is I have to get this guy off the funny and throw him in the kiln right quick, fast, and in a hurry. Alright, let me throw this in the kiln. I'll come right back. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. Hope that was interesting somewhat. Suze, again, thanks for being so awesome. You, keep being awesome. We're here with you. We're here for you. We love you. And now you got a Monsterz guy and a Buddha guy that can travel around with you too if you'd like. So thanks everybody for tuning in. You know, keep it glassy, keep it melting. If you wanted to see some more glass blowing and stuff, I have a small YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/c/catglass. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. You know, I love all my friends, you know, and you know, I can't wait to see all of you when I see you. And you guys stay really awesome. And we'll talk to you later. All right.